Hey guys, so first of all I apologise for the quality of this video and also the mess of my hair, ignore that. But yeah, I'm using my iPhone just now because my camera battery's dead and it's a long story, but I'm using my iPhone for my next couple of videos, so my apologies if the quality is a bit dodgy. Today I'm going to be talking about Coronation Street. A lot of people asked me this week if I was going to be talking about the live episode and the whole 4 funerals and a wedding thing. And I said yes to everybody who asked me. My apologies to the select few who actually wanted me to do one like every day at the end of each, since it was on for the full 5 days. I didn't have the time to do that, I'm sorry. Also, I think my non-Corrie fan subscribers would get a little bit annoyed at the constant streaming of Corrie videos. But yeah, so here I am talking about it. Now, if I'm looking down, it's because I have my very scrappy notes in front of me. I had pages and pages and pages of notes and things I was going to talk about. But then I just thought, no, the video will never end, so I had to narrow it down. First of all, we kept seeing these trailers, these little teasers for the 4 weddings and a funeral. No, 4 funerals and a wedding thing. And like all these little snippets and things, and we're all like, what's going to happen, what's going to happen. Then of course the whole title of the whole thing is 4 funerals and a wedding. The wedding we all knew was Leanne and Peter's. Whether it was going to go ahead or not, we didn't know. But the 4 funerals suggested 4 people were going to die, so that was very much a strong point of this, you know, who they're going to kill off. There was about 6 or 7 actors who are actually leaving the soap, so it could be them, or it could have been people who we didn't actually know were leaving. So I will talk more about who has actually died and things so far. If you're planning on watching the omnibus and you haven't seen it yet, this will contain spoilers. Just something I want to mention before I get in with the thick of this. There's one bit which is my favourite Corrie moment ever, and it's when they were in the joinery, and it was all the guys together on the stag night, and I can't remember exactly, but I think they were saying what they were thankful for or something, and Ashley goes, Claire, and somebody else, I think it was Lloyd or somebody, I can't remember, went, where, and collectively they all went, there on the stair, so it was Claire, where, there on this stair, do the whole, there's a mouse, where, there on the stair thing. Love it, it's such a funny thing, it just had me very highly amused. There were 2 characters, well, there were a lot of characters I love in Corrie, but there were 2 who, once the tram came down, which I will talk about more soon as well, there were 2 characters who I thought cannot die. That was Rita and Kieran. Don't ask me why Kieran, I don't know why, I just don't want Keith Duffy to leave the show. Same for Barbara Knox, although I do believe that Barbara is coming out of it regardless, where I don't think Keith Duffy is. Okay, so the tram crash, there was a big gas explosion in the joinery, which I didn't know was going to happen. I knew the tram was going to crash, but I didn't know that it was because of the explosion. So the explosion went up, everyone in there was injured, not always badly hurt. Then the tram came down, more rubble fell. The tram, when it went up like that and down again, it was like, whoa. So that happened. So it was a very big thing, the fact that it's a gas explosion and the tram came off the track. That's 2 massive things which could cause 2 big incidents in themselves, but together, you know, it's going to be pretty phenomenal. So in the joinery we had Nick, Ashley and Peter. I honestly thought out of the 3 of them it was going to be Peter that went there and then. So to find out that it was Ashley, I was like completely devastated. I love Claire and Ashley, I love Julia Howard, Stephen Arnold, absolutely fantastic characters, but I knew months and months ago that those 2 were coming out of it. So I had a sneaky suspicion that it was going to be one of them, but I actually thought it was going to be Claire. Hand on heart, I'd rather it was Ashley than Claire who died. I don't know why. It's not that I don't dislike Ashley. I just prefer Claire. It's really weird. But so Ashley was like her first death, and that was horrible. That was devastating. That was not the results I was hoping for. Then we have Molly as well. Molly again, I knew Vicky Binns was coming out of it, bless her. Fantastic actress, not going to be the same without her. When Molly died, I was like, please just don't tell Sally about Kevin and baby Jack. Just don't say it, just don't tell her. Just, you know, I was actually hoping, you know, die now, Molly, die now before you get the words out. Obviously I didn't want her to die because I do like Molly quite a lot. But the fact that I sort of wanted her to die before she told Sally didn't really make a difference, because she told Sally about Kevin and baby Jack anyway. So yeah, the third death hasn't technically been announced yet. The third death is kind of Charlotte, because Charlotte's parents were saying, should we just let her go because she might not make it through? And we'll ask Colin. Colin said, yes, let her go. So we know that everybody wants her to be let go so she's not put through all this pain. but it's not actually been officially confirmed that she's dead. But I'm taking it for granted that Charlotte's dead. And then the fourth death, not a clue. I think that there's a few candidates: Peter, Rita. Okay, they're the two that come to mind. Peter and Rita. And I've got a feeling that it's going to be Peter. I think he's coming out of it anyway. I don't want it to be Rita, but as I said, I think she's coming out of it too. I'm not too sure. So either way, I'm going to be sort of like really devastated, but I just don't want it to be Rita, because Rita is a more longer standing character than Peter is. I adore her completely, and I just don't want her to leave. It won't be the same. But obviously I don't want anybody to leave, really. It is a little bit... Oh, and Baby Hope as well. It could be Baby Hope. Honestly, out of Rita, Peter and Baby Hope, I think Baby Hope should go. But I'll feel cheated if Baby Hope dies, because this whole 4 characters are going to die thing. If they kill off... Because Baby Hope's a secondary character. She's not that important. We haven't grown to love her. We don't know her history. Well, we do. But it's not an interesting history. You know, she's been in a womb for 7 months or something. 6 months, however far gone Fizz is. So to kill off a secondary character when there's all this hype that 4 characters are going to die is a bit cheap. Because it's like 2 main characters. I've never considered Charlotte to be a main character because she's not. She's just rubbish. But to kill off a secondary character is a bit like cheating us out of this big storyline. Because there's really 3 deaths, a baby who doesn't live, and a wedding. Of course the wedding did go ahead in the hospital, which is obviously not the way Leanne and Peter wanted it. But I think it was inevitable there that something was going to happen to Peter as soon as he said, you know, as soon as they would pronounce man and wife, something was going to happen. Then we have the live episode, which was Thursday, if I remember rightly, which was when the wedding was. The whole hype over the live episode is a big deal, because it was for their 50th birthday celebrations. The fact that it tied in with this big, massive episode, you know, it was perfect. Everybody was like, you know, is it going to be better than EastEnders? Is it going to be greater? First of all, it was longer than EastEnders. It was an hour, but they had breaks. So you could argue that it was just as easy or just as hard or whatever. Now, the true EastEnders fans, now I am a true EastEnders fan, but I'm also a true television fan, so I understand good television, even if it's not my favourite thing. The people who are solely dedicated to EastEnders are very stubborn, and they don't agree with Corrie being good, even though it is good. We all know it's good, because look how far it's gone. So a lot of people were saying that it won't be as good as EastEnders. Corrie was the best. I hold my hand up to that one and admit that Corrie was the best. There was not a single mistake. 1 or 2 people said that Audrey had fluffed up her lines a bit. Her real name's just totally gone from out my head. Where is it? That is so terrible of me. I've known her real name for years and years and years. Oh, as soon as I turn off this camera, I'll remember Audrey's real name. How can I forget that? Sue Nichols. There we go. So there was sort of thing saying that she fluffed up her lines a little bit. I'm not sure whether she did or if it was just how the script went. But other than that, it was spot on. Nobody made any mistakes. A few of the actors need special credit paid to them. Catherine Kelly's performance was amazing, absolutely fantastic. Julia Haworth, brilliant. Jenny McAlpine and Jane Danson. Especially Jenny had to do the birth live. That must have been quite bad for her, but brilliant acting, absolutely fantastic. So to sum up last week, it was good, but I do feel a bit cheated since we were told there would be 4 deaths that week. When there was only really 3, or possibly 2, whether or not Charlotte is actually dead or not, but I think she is. So there we are. That is a very quick, brief, I say brief, overview of my views of last week. If the last death is shocking, like if it's none of the candidates mentioned and it's somebody totally out of the blue, like somebody we haven't even noticed is stuck somewhere, if that is the case, then I will say I will do another video. But as it stands, that is my views. Please feel free to leave comments and things and let me know your thoughts. Once again, I apologise about the quality of this, and I will see you next time, which will be another iPhone upload. I'm sorry. But I hope you have a great day. Bye guys.